Hi, this is Vinny from the iMoot team. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Gareth Barnard, freelance Moodle developer, Moodle plugin contributor. When I was doing this introduction, I thought I better just check which plugins he's currently maintaining on Moodle.org, and it is a phenomenal list. The columns format, the notice board format, the grid course format, the collapsed topics, collapsed weeks, and the themes that he maintains: campus, shoehorn, shoelace essential, mutant, banjo, and of course, with all those themes, the theme selector block maintainer. Gareth's also moderator of some of the forums on Moodle.org. He's part of the iMoot team here, and a very nice chap to know. So thank you very much, Gareth, for presenting at this year's iMoot, and I hope you all enjoy Gareth's presentation.
Wow, Vinny, thank you very much indeed. Guys, as you can see, iMoot t-shirt. What I will do is I will stop my webcam so it's becomes quicker, so any jitter. And we'll stop. Whoops, wrong button, and you stop recording. Ooh, that's the right one. Panic. Okay, welcome. I'm going to talk about asking for help on Moodle.org. Just thought I'd put a little nice picture. That's one of a steam train I did a couple of weeks back. It's the Royal Scot, a place called Dawlish. Lovely part of the world. Really, really nice, and just a wonderful little background. So that sort of represents the past and also the future, because it was only a few weeks ago that I took it. Okay, what we're going to do today, we're going to cover all this in agenda. So we're going to talk some trademarks, the introduction, a few bits and bobs. Going to cover sort of a variety of things to do with forums themselves, also how you post, the information that you need, the role of a moderator. As Vinny mentioned, I'm also a moderator as well, how you can use them and talk to them and what their role is in terms of the forums. Other places you can find information. Another special thing called the flip side, which will make you really start to think about forums on your own site. There is some references, summary, and a little bit of homework, but sort of discovery. And finally, a session about Ask a Moderator Developer, which is sort of ask me anything you like. Okay. Bit of your trademarks. I will talk about Bitnami and screenshots from Firefox and Ubuntu and Windows and stuff like that. So just the sort of the legal aspects, and also the special Moodle trademark as well. So when you're talking about Moodle, it's great to talk about it, but you really do follow the rules if you're doing other things like services and stuff like that. You have to be a Moodle partner for that, but double check that. But I am independent of all the organizations listed above, and I'm no way speaking for or endorse them. All my opinions are my own. Okay, this is me in my pre-beard days down at Land's End. So with this presentation, the forums are really great source of help, but if you're a new person, if you're new to Moodle, it can be scary. Some of the forum posts can get really technical really quickly, and you go, yeah, what's that all about? So this is what this presentation is about, there to help you understand. Me, as Vinny alluded to, I'm a course formats and theme developer. I do themes now. I started off doing course formats, and I started off being the learning coordinator, but now I'm do a bit of core development. I spend most of my time doing software engineering, so I do bespoke themes and I do bespoke course formats, and I build upon the stuff that I give away on Moodle.org itself, and also have a book on collapsed topics, which is also available on Moodle.org under the sort of trademark rules type of thing, which is good. So if I get a few more sales, I then give them a donation. It's all done on a trademark drop. Right. So later on, so get your thinking caps on. Ask a moderator developer. Is anything question you'd like me to do? I'm not brilliant at multitasking, so if you're not put in the chat, just make a little note so it can go in the chat much later. That would be great. I tried looking for a picture to represent a moderator or a developer, couldn't find a thing, a bit nerdy, so I found this wonderful picture on Pixabay. Really nice, lovely character, lovely big eyes, but reading into a book, so really concentrating, so a different way of learning going on there. Okay, forums themselves. Yeah, prickly. Developers are prickly, possibly. Yeah. In fact, that's a good point, Scott, because some of them can get really technical really, really quickly. So, coming back to forums themselves, a lot of people have found as a moderator is they post in general and installing upgradable, but there's a lot more forums. If you want someone to help you, the quickest way is to find a forum that is more suitable to your question. Enable it. You can see there's just a small chunk of all the forums that are available. So, for example, authentication blocks. You see courses and course formats. I'm a moderator on that, so that's to do like class topics grid. Further down, you see themes. I'm a moderator on that. You're familiar with Essential, but there's other ones like Volv D, good one. Richard Ullman does Flexibase. Baz does Bootstrap, Elegance. Lots of them. So, getting to the right form is really, really important. So, have a hunt and find the right one for you for your question, and find the one that's the most suited. If you think it's going to cross in two different forums, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. If you're not a native English speaker, then there are loads of other courses available and for other languages, and you'll find that under that link there. All the links I've put on the middle course to do with this presentation. I believe they're really, really good community, and will help you out with some really good people on there. Okay, next. So, etiquette and rules. There are some rules. So, Moodle has a site policy. So, when you sign up for an account on Moodle.org, you implicitly agree to the site policy and the forum rules of conduct. If you're not familiar with it, do become available. It's not rocket science, but it's important to it. So there's a link there, there's a link on the course. But reality, it's common sense. Don't spam, don't abuse. As a moderator, we can report people, we can can ask Helen to block people, or Mary Cooch, or other powers that be. And critically, don't cross-post. If you put the same question in two different forums, you can only imagine that you're going to get replies from one people and replies from other people, and they're going to bounce off. And then somebody might have said the same thing as another person, and they're going to start getting annoyed, because then they think, well, this person answered it somewhere else, and they said exactly the thing. Why did I waste my help on this person? It's negative to you. So the solution to that is to post in the most common forum, the best forum for your subject matter, and then go to the other forum and just post a link to it. Moderators won't tell you off, they'll accept it. It's all part of the way things work. Say, oh yeah, I think this appears in two different places, therefore this is the title. Please direct people to your post, the main post you've done in the other forum. If moderators do see two cross posts and exactly the same text, one of them will be deleted and you will send a message, or even possibly both of them, and it will be dealt with. Okay. Yep. Okay, the role of the moderator. We're here to help. So we've got sort of two hats. What is perhaps is not known is that moderators are sort of volunteers. There's a few people who work for Moodle HQ, but most of us do it in our own free time because we think it's a really philanthropic thing to do to help out. I get a lot from it, so I can then go in and see what's going on. I can then understand the different aspects and keeps me alert about what's going on in the world in terms of themes and course formats and stuff. So I get bits from it as well, and it's great just for helping people. So we're there to help you to move and amend posts. You know, you'd like a 30-minute timeout, or moderators can go in after that 30 minutes and change something. So if there's really seriously glaringly wrong with your post, or you want it deleted, or I think you still delete after 30 minutes, but you want it changed, contact one of the moderators. We're at the top of the forums. There's a list. Some have one, some have two, so forth. We can also move and amend posts. So if you do have a post and think, oh, that was really the wrong forum, you can either delete it or just contact our moderator off that forum that you see at the top, and they will move it for you. We do have to do a bit of policing as well. So we do inform enforce the forum code of conduct. That's on that link there, that guidelines there. Now, moderators are really, but I think it's really great if you're aware of that page as well and you have a read of it. So then you'll understand what we do, the sort of things we're likely to do. So if there's a job advert, if unsolicited advertising, so with the trademark rules and stuff, you just put a blatant obvious, that will get immediately removed, blocked, you may even get banned completely. If you're replying in a commercial context to as a response to a question, then there's a bit more leeway. Spam, obviously a no. Posting multiple forums, yep, as I mentioned before that. If you post in another language other than English in an English one, that's also cause a problem, because then we have to use Google Translate, sort of thing. It becomes a bit wishy-washy. We sort of, I found, use as a best judgment in that. So if you can avoid that, even if you use Google Translate, brilliant, and put 2 versions, I think that's sort of fairly flexible. And then as long as there's English, otherwise you will that have to be then removed, because people understanding. So the English forums are English, and they got all the other languages there with all those wonderful places and other people to help you. There's a lot of people confusing Moodle with them, so I think, whoops, wrong place. Signatures. So you come to cheers, Gareth, or something like that. If you put your signature there, that's fine. But signing off with a URL, with your company, and your full details also just makes the post longer and is against the rules. And also quoted copies of posts. So copying it verbatim, word for word, whole boat makes the post really, really long. I mean, clearly, if you want to quote a few words or a sentence, that's fine. So, just so you're aware that that's what we do. We're not there to be a policeman or something like that. We're there also to help. So if you do have a query and think, I'm not sure about these rules, contact the moderator of that forum and they'll surely gladly help you. I know I will in what I do on the 2 forums I moderate. Okay, so far. So, coming to posting. It is phenomenally helpful to developers if you post them to some straightforward questions. The times I've been on the themes forum and they said, I've got a problem with Essential, and I think, well, I do need to know the Moodle version, I need to know the plugin version, and a screenshot picture saying 1,000 words, brilliant, really, really useful. Now, site admins can only get access to this, so if you're not a site admin, go and talk to your site admin and see what they say in order to get this information. So the whole list of the plugin versions and their dates and stuff are listed, as you see there, under site administration, plugins overview. And recently, well, relatively recent, a wonderful button called additional plugins. You can just hopefully see that there. Has been introduced, and that only lists the additional ones. So you can see there's grid, collapse topics, and it's got a version and a sort of a date time type string. Well, it's a date-ish version. That information's so critical. You'll also see under this site administration notifications, that's where you can find out your exact version Moodle. So those 2 pieces of information, along with an annotated screenshot saying, this is the problem, this is exactly, because some people will think one thing is one thing, and a developer knows it as another, and there'll be confusion. So it's all about getting the right information ready for the developer, the person who's going to answer your question, so it can be really quick, really clear, and ultimately it benefits you because you get an answer quicker. Okay, there's lots also linked there to the forum's help, which is a great page to read through. Okay, so after you've posted all that sort of those 3 basic items along with a good description of your problem, what you're asking for help on, they may come back and ask you to perform a typical action like purge or caches, put on developer level debugging, looking for errors in the browser console, or print screening the issue, as I've alluded to screenshots. Also, if your Moodle has really, really gone wrong, there's a link there. You can do some of these via the command line, and there's a little link and there's references on the course for this. So, next one. Purge or caches. Moodle works in a certain way. It gathers up loads and loads of information from all over the place and goes, puts it all into the all file. And so all the styles, the language strings, everything gets put into a much more compact piece and bolted together. Like, imagine you're moving house and you're just going to gather everything and box everything up so you can make it all small to fit in the van or the lorry or so forth. Same thing. However, sometimes it goes wrong, or sometimes the developer will put out a release and you click on a setting and it doesn't save and it doesn't re-update things. So they will ask you to do, can you perform a purge or caches just to eliminate that possibility that something's gone wrong or language string hasn't put up or something like that. So that you will find as an administrator under Site Administration, Development, Purge or Caches. You can see that. You just click the button. Now, it's really critical you do that when you don't have, especially on a production site, at a time when there's not many users, because immediately after that it says, right, I need to gather all these old bits and remake that sort of big bundle of stuff that gets sent out in one go, and that takes time. So if you had a lot of users on, it's really going to slow up Moodle very immediately for them. Not a good idea. So maybe pick a time when you haven't got many users on and then go and click on a page immediately afterwards so that it refreshes the whole lot. If that works and solves the problem, great. Even better, then tell the developer that happened, because they will be able to write a line of code and that was the actions you took. Purge or caches, solve it. I need to do an extra line of PHP to then tell the Moodle to do something behind the scenes so it doesn't happen again, so that everyone else then benefits. Okay. Anyway, another thing I like to do is turn on developer level debugging. Now, this can give stuff to your away about your Moodle site. So do read the warnings. Better if you've got a test server, and that I'll come on to later on. So maybe turn it on, turn it off. Now, it's so critical that you gather all the information it pushes out when you go to the page or wherever it is that's causing the problem. It produces a thing called a stat trace. It will look like complete and utter gobbledygook, but to developer, it's like a gold mine. It has loads and loads of information. Has a huge list of all the little places that the code has gone to, and with that information they'll be able to think, that's the line in the code where it failed, that's where it went wrong, now I'd be able to replicate it given the scenario you've written out, and now I will actually be out in a better position to solving your problem and making the code better for everybody. So you can turn it on, do the little bit, take a print screen, note everything down. Don't worry if something looks, I don't need to tell them that. Log everything. The developer will be able to pieces, yeah, that's relevant, that's not relevant, that's relevant, that's not relevant. Like telling a plumber or somebody trying to fix your car. You just tell them everything. Doesn't matter if you don't understand it. They will be able to then work out what's relevant, what's not relevant. Okay. Another thing is the browser console. So whereas the developer level debugging was server end and that actually does affect everybody temporarily, and while you got it on, the browser console is at your end, your computer, not the other one place where the Moodle is being hosted. So not a lot of people do this or know about it, but it's a really good tool. And you just press F12, and if you muck around here, it's not going to affect anything on the server. You're not going to break anything. It's only on the page you've loaded up on your computer, and as soon as you refresh it, it'll re-update again as well. So no problem at all. You can even have a play. You can have muck around with CSS if you're learning how to code or how to make CSS changes or JavaScript changes or anything you like. Really good, useful. I use it all the time for developing, and you can have a play too. So if you press F12, and this is Firefox on Ubuntu, but work on Firefox or Chrome or loads of operating systems too, press it, and your thing there in the screenshot, a thing called the console. Now there's warnings, but if there's errors, that's what we want to print screen. Yeah. Even again, like the previous slide, if it's gobbledygook and it looks still print screen it, it will mean something to developer. Even if it's not the problem, it might give them a hint that, oh, there's a bug in another plugin that's causing a conflict or mucking things around. It provides so much useful information, it's not true. And can really help with the developer to help you solve that problem for you. Okay. So, print screen. As I said earlier, so 1,000 words. I use another wonderful tool which is free called GreenShot on Windows, but loads of other ones. It's great because it takes a print screen, you can then write text on and annotate it and everything. Really, really good. And then when you save it, you can also go and open another program, your favorite program, and shrink the resolution quality, because a lot of people found when you're posting, you realize that each post has a file size limit. So maybe you want on the theme store and get it under 100k. And that can be tricky if you've got multiple screenshots. So, in that scenario, do a post with one screenshot, then reply to that post with another screenshot. I'll put a camera there because if you haven't got a screenshot, or even do a picture with your camera, doesn't matter. Have a play. Boom. Really, really helps to. Even better if you've annotated it to explain, oh, it's this point here that's going wrong, please help. So, hope that makes sense. You can also reduce the quality. That's something else. Because humans were really great at interpreting images, so they can degrade quite a long way to get the size, and we can still understand them, even if it doesn't look brilliant, it's still the information that's there. Okay, so you've done this wonderful post, you've given the developer, the person or helping on the forums, all the information, but how do you deal with that scary response? Ooh. So, it's not a typo, don't panic. Don't panic! Yeah, don't worry. If the reply makes sense to you, then great, brilliant. If it doesn't, ask for more information. Don't be shy, don't think you're being silly or any other sort of S word like that. Ask. If the person replying hasn't answered it in a form that you understand, then they're not doing their job, or they're replying properly. Yeah? Ask, saying, what's this do? Blah, blah. And you need to be happy with it. Be happy that the reply makes sense. Be happy that the person has credibility. Sometimes I find I contradict other people, they think they know what they're doing, but they don't. So if you're talking about posting the essential theme or shoehorn or something, and I reply, then clearly, as the developer, I have credibility because I know them inside out. To the most extent, I still have to look off, but that's another thing. If someone else replies, then think, are they a moderator? Have they got, you see, maybe you've got like a really helpful Moodler badge. You might have seen on the badges and stuff, and I can come on to that a bit later if you like. Are they well known in the community? Do they have other plugins? Are they a member of Moodle HQ? Are they a core developer? Are they a plugin developer? Yeah, be happy. If you're uncertain, don't apply what they're doing. I think get advice. Ask other people to say, you're really sure? Blah, blah, blah. Because ultimately, this is your time, your Moodle site, your problem. And doing something going down the wrong garden path is just going to waste time. So do ask others if you're uncertain. And if you don't understand it, ask them to explain. Okay. Now, testing right. So you've gone to all this effort, you've got to apply. It's like, what on earth? I don't want to put this on production server. Best thing you can do is to run your own test server. Now, this is not as scary as you like. Not as scary as you think. By chatting things out, it's also great. You can learn Moodle on it, you can try the plugins on it, and you can test out the theory that the developer, even if I reply to one of my own things, it's still something that you need to check for yourself, because there may be other things going on. You've got other plugins that I'm not aware of that may be causing a conflict, and it's all a part of the solution process. So then only put your production site if you are 100% confident that it is going to work for you, or you've got like a backup and you know you can undo everything and be back in time. Like you see there, the life buoy. Be certain there's something that's sort of backup there for you. So, what if you don't have a test server? Well, a couple of years back, iMoot 2014, I did a wonderful presentation on setting up your own test server. I made a Vinny has kindly, with all the other ones, put it now on YouTube, so that's now totally free. Even if you haven't been to iMoot before, you can see it there. I've put links on the slide and the references and on the course to all the slides and all the resources I put on that presentation that talk about it. Now, coming back to alluding about Bitnami, I have my own sort of Moodle stack in development, but I really find that the Bitnami Moodle stack, which you can download free and install it, is really great. It's like a single application, like installing any other application. Find an old machine or even the existing machine, install it. If it doesn't work, just uninstall it. There are other packages on Moodle.org, you can try them out. They're covered in that presentation. But in addition, it is also great for practicing. What if you've got a plugin and think, oh, I really like the look of that plugin, don't want to need to go near my production site? Go and try it, download it, install it. What if you want to try out the new version of Moodle and think, oh, it'd be really great and convince your boss, convince your organisation that this is a good thing to do, or oh no, maybe we'll wait another year for the next version of Moodle. It hasn't got as many good features. It's not going to be good enough for us. We'll hang on. Well, then a test server is great for that. It's also great for maybe putting out to your colleagues as well. Say, oh no, just install it. Go away, have a practice. If it goes wrong, you just uninstall it. The risk is so much lower than running with your production server, your live site. Okay, and I did say, the Bitnami one, I did find the easiest one out of the lot. Really, really good. Okay, other places of immersion. So there's not just the forums. There's a wonderful community out there. There's Facebook groups, there's LinkedIn, there's the Moodle documents, which I think sometimes get looked over. There's one specific to the version, there's Moodle 3 there. There's also the developer documents. If you fancy getting into developer and you're starting about creating themes or creating blocks or anything like that, great place to start. There's also run by Mary and Helen, the great, wonderful LearnMoodle.net course, and that was also linked to that Teaching Moodle Facebook group. If you go on there, follow that course, even if you're existing Moodler, really, really good. I did it a couple of years back when it first started. I still learned something new. You can never in life not learn something new from someone else if they've got a different perspective. So there's a lot of good support out there, and including the iMoot group. Yay. So the flip side. So now we've covered all of this, and you can see I've reversed the picture there with the beach huts. You've done some posts, you get some replies, but what about your site? How will you behave? How will you empathise with your users? How will they respond to you? Do you think you need to change the way that you interact with them and their forums on your site? Do you think that you've got enough guidance? Do you think you need to update it? Yeah? Do you think maybe your responses are always too technical or too complicated and they were getting a bit scared? Do you think, can you empathise? Can you see? Can change your attitude? Do you think now that you need to provide more training to help your users on your forums on your site? Do you have lots of posts where it's the same thing over and over again and that points to a deficiency elsewhere? Yeah, possible. Good thing to sort of think about, consider, and do. Okay. Right, references. So they're all there on a nice slide. As I said, they are on the course. So the forums, the other languages, the rules, and so forth, and my previous presentation from a couple of years back. Okay, so in this presentation, we have learnt about the forms, the different ones that are available, and that short list. There are loads more. Do have a little explore and see what ones you think are the most appropriate. We talked about the information you need in the post. We talked about how to get that information, how to screenshot, where to find it, and by posting it, you will then get a faster response because there's just one less step the person replying has to ask you to find it anyway. We talked about how to understand and test the reply and its credibility. We talked about where to find other sources of help, and Google and Bing and all the other search engines are also great places to look. We talked about the flip side of emotional and empathetic bits, and a bit of homework for you. Homework, horrible word, well, practically anything, but really take this on board. Go out, discover the different forms that are available for you. Install, try, test installation on a old laptop or a computer to find out the information and have a play. Go and discover all sorts of source information. There is a badge to be earned, so have a look back on the course, and I do have a little challenge for you. And there's a forum called Make Your Post. So make a post there with what you've learnt. Post it there with a link. I'll have a look and give you a badge. Sort of little treat. Okay, so questions and answer. So if you can put, please, kindly your questions in the chat and I will answer them. This is me, so what does this button do? Thank you very much for coming along and listening to me and to listen and going through slides and understanding what I'm saying. So I really appreciate feedback. I have my view of the world, but everybody's view is different, and everybody's view has something that's a different way of thinking about it. And there's just a link there to my About an RP page, which is sort of my little bit of credibility. Thank you very much.